Happiness habits. I have serious tricks I use to try and be happier in the moment. At this, they were silly and difficult and required a lot of attention. But now some of them has become second nature. By doing them religiously, I've managed to increase my happiness level quite a bit. The obvious one is meditation, insight meditation, working towards a specific purpose on it, which is which is to try and understand how my mind works. Just being very aware in every moment. If I catch myself judging somebody, I can stop myself and see what's a positive interpretation of this. I used to get annoyed about things. Now I always look for the positive side of it. It used to take a rational effort. It used to take a few seconds for me to come up with a positive. Now I can do it sub-second. I try to get more sunlight on my skin. I look up and smile. Every time you catch yourself desiring something, say, it is so important to me. I'll be unhappy unless this goes my way. You are going to find the vast majority of things is just not true. I think dropping caffeine made me happier. It makes me more a stable person. I think working out every day made me happier. If you have peace of body, if you have peace of body, it's easier to have peace of mind. The more you judge, the more you separate yourself. You will feel good for an instant because you feel good about yourself, thinking you are better than someone. Later, you are going to feel lonely. Then you see negativity everywhere. The world just reflects your own feelings back at you. Tell your friends you are a happy person. Then you will be forced to conform to it. You will have a consistency bias. You have to live up to it. Your friends will expect you to be a happy person. Recover time and happiness by minimizing your use of these three smartphone apps: phone, calendar, and alarm clock. The more sacred you have, the less happy you are going to be. Caught in a funk, use meditation, music, and exercise to reset your mood. Then choose a new path to commit emotional energy for the rest of the day. Funk. Caught in a funk, use meditation, music, and experience to reset funk. Hedonic adaptation is more powerful for man-made things, cars, houses, clothes, clothes, money, than any natural things, food, sex, exercise. Low exceptions, all screen activities linked to less happiness, or long screen activities linked to more happiness. A personal metric, how much of the day is spent doing things out of obligation rather than out of interest. It's a new job to make you anxious and angry, but its underlying scientific, economic, education, and conflict trends are positive, stay optimistic. Politics, academia, and social status are all zero-sum games. Positive sum games create positive people, increase serotonin, 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 increase serotonin in the brain without drugs. Serotonin, 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 serotonin. C. Serotonin, 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 serotonin in the brain, 血清素 serotonin. In the brain without drugs, sunlight, exercise, positive thinking, and serotonin, and trypophene, tryptophan, 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 change habits, academia, 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 sorry, academia, 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 change habits, pick one thing, cultivate a desire, visualize it, plan a sustainable path, identify needs, triggers, and substitutes. Tell your friends, track meticulously, track meticulously, track meticulously, track meticulously, track meticulously, track meticulously, 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 track meticulous, meticulous, meticulous. Tracking. Self-discipline is a bridge to a new self-image. Bake in the new self-image is who you are now. First you know it, then you understand it. Then you can explain it, then you can feel it. Finally, you are it. Find happiness in acceptance. Acceptance. In any situation in life, you always have three choices. You can change it, you can accept it, or you can leave it. If you want to change it, then it's a desire. It will cause you suffering until you successfully change it. So don't pick too many of those. Pick one big desire in your life at any given time to give yourself purpose and motivation. Why not two? You'll you'll be distracted. Even one is hard enough. Being peaceful comes from having your mind clear of thought, and a lot of clarity comes from being in the present moment. It's very hard to be in the present moment if you are thinking, I need to do this, I want that, this had to got to change. You always have three options. You can change it, you can accept it, or you can leave it. What is not good option is to sit around wishing you could change it but not changing it, wishing you could leave it but not leave it, and not accepting it. That struggle or aversion is responsible for most of our misery. The phrase I probably use the most of to myself in my head is just one word: accept, 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 accept. Aversion, aversion, aversion. That struggle or aversion is responsible for most of our misery. The phrase I probably use the most to myself is my hand. It, in my hand, it's just one word: accept. What does acceptance look like to you? Acceptance look like to you? It's it's be okay whatever the outcome is. It's be balanced and centered. It's to step back and to see the grander scheme of things, grander scheme of things. We don't always get what we want, but sometimes what is happening is for the best. The sooner you can accept it as a reality, the sooner you can adapt to it. Achieving acceptance is very difficult. I have a couple of hacks I tried, but I wouldn't say they're totally successful. One hack is stepping back and look at previous bit of suffering I've had in my life. I write them down. Last time you broke up with somebody. Last time you had a business failure. Last time you had a health issue. What happened? I can trace the growth and improvement that came from it years later. I have another hack I use for minor allowances, allowance, 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 allowance. Once when they happen, a part of me will instantly react negatively. But I've learned to mentally ask myself, what is positive in this situation? Okay, I'll be late for a meeting, but what's the benefit to me? I get to relax and watch the birds for a moment. I'll also spend less time in that boring meeting. There's almost always something positive. Even if you can't come up with the positive, you can say, wow, the universe is going to teach me something now. Now I get to listen and learn. To give you the simplest example, I was at an event and afterwards someone flooded my inbox with a whole bunch of photos they took. There was a tiny instant judgment saying, come on, couldn't you have just selected few of the best? Who sent 100 photos? But then immediately I asked myself, what's the positive? The positive is that I get to pick my 5 favorite photos. I get to use my judgment. Over the last year, by practicing this hack enough, I've managed to go from taking a couple of seconds to think of response to now my brain doing it almost inst- inst- instant, instantaneously. So, okay. Instant, instantaneously, instantaneously. Sorry, not tennis, instantaneously. Yes, instantaneously. That's a habit you can train yourself to do. How do you learn to accept things you can't change? Fundamentally, it boils down to one big hack: embracing death. Death is the most important thing that is ever going to happen to you. When you look at your death, you act and you acknowledge it rather than running away from it. It will bring great meaning to your life. We spend too much of our life trying to avoid death. So much of what we struggle for can be classified as a quest for immortality. If you are religious and believe there is afterlife, an afterlife, then you will taken care of it. Will be taken care of. Then you'll be taken care of. If you are not religious, maybe you have kids. If you have you are artist, a painter or a businessman, you want to leave a legacy behind. Here's, here's a hot tip. There is no legacy. There's nothing to leave. We're all going to be gone. Our children will be gone. Our works will be dust. Our civilization will be dust. Our planet will be dust. Our solar system will be dust. In the grand scheme of things, the universe has been around for 10 billion years. It will be around for another 10 billion years. Your life is a firefly blink in light, and you are here for such a brief period of time. If you fully acknowledge the futility of what you are doing, then I think it can bring great happiness and peace because you realize this is a game, and it's fun game. All that matters is your experience, your reality, and you go through life. Why not interpret in the most positive possible way? Futility, 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 fertility, fertility of what you are doing too long. Then I think it can bring great happiness and peace because you realize this again. But it's fun game. All that matters is your experience, your reality as you go through life. Why not interpret, 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 interpret it in the most positive possible way? Any moment where you are not having a great time, when you are not really happy, you are not doing anyone any favors. It's not you like your happiness makes them better off somehow. All you are doing is wasting this incredibly small and precious time you have on this earth, keeping death on the forefront and not delaying. It's very important. Whenever I get caught up in my ego battles, I just think of entire civilizations that have come and gone. For example, take some Sumerians. I'm sure they were important people and did great things, but go ahead and name me a single Sumerian. Sumerian. Tell me anything interesting or important Sumerians did that lasted nothing. So maybe 10,000 years from now, or 100,000 years from now, people will say, oh yeah, Americans. I've heard of Americans. You're going to die one day. You are going to die one day, and none of this going to matter. So enjoy yourself. Do something positive. Project your love. Make someone happy. Laugh a little bit. Appreciate the moment and do your work. Sumerian, 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 Sumerians. Summer. Sumerian. Mm, Learning happiness. Okay, let's go. Happiness is learned. 10 years ago, if you would have asked me how happy I was, I would have dismissed the question. I didn't know want to talk about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would have said 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10, maybe 4 out of 10 on my best days. But I didn't value being happy. Today, I'm at a 9 out of 10, and yes, having money helps, but it's actually a very small piece of it. Most of it comes from learning over the years. My own happiness is the most important thing to me, and I've cultivated it with a lot of techniques. Maybe happiness is not something you inherit or even choose, but a highly personal skill that can be learned, like fitness or nutrition. Happiness is very involving thing, I think, like all the great questions. When you are a little kid, you go to your mom and ask, what happens when we die? Is there a Santa Claus? Is there a God? Should I be happy? Or who should I marry? Those kind of things. There are no glib answers because no answers apply to everybody. This kind of question ultimately do have answers, but they have personal answers. The answer that works for me is going to be nonsense to you, and vice versa. Whatever happiness means to me, it means something different to you. I think it's very important to explore what these definitions are. For some people I know, it's a flow state. For some people, it's a satisfaction. For some people, it's a feeling of contentment. My definition keeps evolving. The answer I would have given you a year ago will be different than what I tell you now. Today, I believe happiness is really a default state. Happiness is there when you remove the sense of something missing in your life. We are highly judgmental survival and replication machines. We constantly walk around thinking, I need this, I need that, trapped in the web of desires. Happiness is the state when nothing is missing. When nothing is missing, your mind shuts down and stops running to the past or future to regret something or to plan something. In that absence, for a moment, you have internal silence. When you have internal silence, then you are content and you are happy. Feel free to disagree. Again, it's different for everybody. People mistakenly believe happiness is just about positive thoughts and positive actions. The more I've read, the more I've learned, and the more I've experienced. Because I verified this for myself. Every positive thought essentially holds within its negative thought. It's a contrast to something negative. The Tao Te Ching says this more articulately than I ever could, but it's all duality and polarity. If I say I'm happy, that means I was sad at some point. If I see he's attractive, then somebody else is unattractive. Every positive thought even has a seed of negative thought within it and vice versa, which is why a lot of greatness in life comes out suffering. You have to view the negative before you can aspire to and appreciate the positive. To me, happiness is not about positive thoughts. It's not about negative thoughts. It's about the absence of desire, especially the absence of desire for external things. The fewer desire I can have, the more I can accept the current state of things, the less my mind is moving. Because the mind really exists in motion towards the future or the past. The more present I am, the happier and the more content I'll be. If I latch onto a feeling, if I say, oh, I'm happy now, I want to stay happy, then I'm going to drop out of that happiness now. Suddenly, the mind is moving. It's trying to attach to something. It's trying to create a permanent situation out of a temporary situation. Happiness to me is mainly not suffering, not desiring, not thinking too much about the future or the past. Really embracing the present moment of the reality of what is and the way it is. If you ever want to have peace in your life, you have to move beyond good and evil. Nature has no concept of happiness or unhappiness. Nature follows unbroken mathematical law and a chain of cause and effect from Big Bang to now. Everything is perfect exactly the way it is. It's only in our particular mind we are unhappy or not happy. If things are perfect or imperfect because of what we desire. The world just reflects your own feelings back to you. Reality is neutral. Reality has no judgment. To a tree, there is no concept of right or wrong, good or bad. You are born, you have a whole set of sensory experience and stimulations, lights, colors, and sounds, and then you die. How you choose how to interpret them is up to you. You have that choice. This, this is what I mean when I say happiness is a choice. If you believe it's a choice, you can start working on it. There are no external forces affecting your emotions as much as it may feel that way. I've also come to believe in the complete and utter insignificance of the self. And I think that helps a lot. For example, if you thought you were the most important thing in the universe, then you would have to bend the entire universe to your will. If you are the most important thing in the universe, then how could it not conform to your desires? If it doesn't conform to your desires, something is wrong. However, if you view yourself as a bacteria or an amoeba, or if you view all of your works as riding on water or building castle in the sand, then you have no expectation for how life should actually be. Life is just the way it is when you accept that you have no cause to be happy or unhappy. Those things almost don't apply. Happiness is what there when you remove the things that something is missing in your life. What you are left within that neutral state is not neutrality. I think people believe neutrality would be very bland existence. No, this this is the existence little children live. If you look at little children on balance, they are generally pretty happy because they are really immersed in the environment at the moment without any thought of how you should be given your personal preferences and desires. I think the neutral state is actually a perfection state. One can be very happy as long as one isn't too caught up in their own head. Our lives are a blink of firefly in the night. You are just barely here. You have to make the most of every minute, which doesn't mean you chase some stupid desire for your entire life. What it means is every second you have on this planet is very precious. And it's not your responsibility to make sure you are happy and interpret everything in the best possible way. We think of ours as fixed and the world as malleable, but it's really we who are malleable and the world is largely fixed. Can practicing meditation help you accept reality? Yeah, but it's amazing how little it helps. You can be a long time meditator, but if someone says the wrong thing in the wrong way, you go back to your ego-driven self. It's almost like you are lifting 1 pound weight, but then somebody drops a huge barbell with a stack of plates on your hand. It's absolutely better than doing nothing. But when the actual moment of mental or emotional suffering arrives, it's still never easy. Real happiness only comes as a side effect of peace. Most of it going to come from acceptance, not from changing your external environment. A rational person can find peace by cultivating indifference to things outside of their control. I have lowered my identity. I have lowered the chattering of my mind. I don't care about things that don't really matter. I don't get involved in politics. I don't hang around unhappy people. I really value my time on this earth. I read philosophy. I meditate. I hang around with happy people and it works. You can very slowly but steadily and methodically improve your happiness baseline because like you can improve your fitness. Happiness is a choice. Happiness, love, and passion aren't things you find, they are choices you make. Happiness is a choice you make and a skill you develop. The mind is just as malleable as the body. We spend so much time and effort trying to change external world, other people and our own bodies, all while accepting ourselves the way we were programmed in our youth. We accept the voice in our hand as the all, source of all truth, but all of it is malleable, malleable, and every day's new memory and identity are burdens from the past, preventing us from living freely in the present. Happiness requires presence. At any given time, when you are walking down the street, a very small percentage of your brain is focused on the present. The rest is planning the future or regretting the past. This keeps you from having an incredible experience. It's keeping you from seeing the beauty in everything and for being grateful for where you are. You can literally destroy your happiness if you spend all of your time living delusions of the future, delusions of your future. We crave experience that will make us be present, but the cravings themselves take us from the present moment. I just don't believe in anything from my past, anything. No memories, no regrets, no people, no trips, nothing. A lot of our unhappiness comes from comparing things from the past to the present. Anticipation for our vices pull us into the future. Eliminating vices make it easier to be present. There is a great definition I read enlightenment is the space between your thoughts. It means enlightenment isn't something you achieve after 30 years sitting on a mountaintop. It's something you can achieve moment to moment, and you can be enlightened to a certain percent easy every single day. What if this life is the paradise we were promised, and we are just squandering, squandering. Happiness requires peace. Are happiness and purpose interconnected? Happiness is such an overloaded word. I'm not even sure what it means. For me, these days, happiness is more about peace than it's about joy. I don't think peace and purpose go together. If it's your internal purpose, the thing you most want to do, then sure you will be happy doing it. But an externally inflict purpose like society wants me to do X. I'm in the first son of the first son by this, so I should do Y, or I have this debt to burden and to come. I don't think it will make you happy. I think a lot of us have this low level, pervasive feeling of anxiety. If you pay attention to your mind, sometimes you are just running around doing your thing and you are not feeling great. And you notice your mind is chattering and chattering about something. Maybe you can't sit still. There's this relaxing thing where you are sitting in one spot thinking about where you should be relaxed. It's always the next thing, then the next thing, the next thing after that, then the next thing after that, creating this pervasive anxiety. It's most obvious if you ever just sit down and try and do nothing. Nothing. I mean, nothing. I mean, not read a book. I mean, not listen to music. I mean, literally just sit down and do nothing. You can't do it because there's anxiety always trying to make you get up and go, get up and go, get up and go. I think it's important just being aware of the aware the anxiety is making you unhappy. Anxiety is just a series of running thoughts. How I combat anxiety. I don't try and fight. I just notice I'm anxious because of all this thought. I try to figure out, would I rather be having this thought right now, or would I rather have my peace? Because as long as I have my thought, I can have my peace. You'll notice when I say happiness, I mean peace. When a lot of people say happiness, they mean joy or bliss. But I will take peace. A happy person isn't someone who's happy at all the time. It's someone who effortlessly, effortlessly interprets events in such a way that they don't lose their innate, innate peace. Every desire is a chosen unhappiness. I think the most common mistake for humanity is believing you are going to be made happy because of some external circumstance. I know that's not original. That's that's not new. It's fundamental Buddhist wisdom. I'm not taking credit for it. I think I really just recognize it on a fundamental level, including in myself. We bought a new car. Now I'm waiting for the new car to arrive. Of course, every night on my I'm on forums for forums reading about the car. Why is city object, this city car is not going to change my life much or at all. I know the instant the car arrives, I want care about it anymore. The thing is, I'm addicted to the desiring. I'm addicted, addicted to the idea of the external thing bringing me some kind of happiness and joy. And this is completely delusional, delusional, delusional. Looking outside yourself for anything is a fundamental delusion. Not to say you shouldn't do things on the outside. You absolutely should. You are a living creature. There are things you do. You locally reverse entropy. That's why you are here. You are meant to do something. You are not just meant to lie there in the sand and meditate all day long. You should self-actualize. You should do what you are meant to do. The idea you are going to change something is in the outside world, and that's going to bring you the peace, everlasting joy, and the happiness you deserve is a fundamental delusion we all suffer from, including me. This mistake over and over and over is to say, oh, I'm happy when I get that thing, whatever it is. That that is fundamental mistake we will make 24 hours, 7 days, all day long. The fundamental delusion, there is something out there that will make me happy and fulfilled forever. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. I don't think most of us realize that what it is. I think we go about desiring things all day long and then wonder why we are unhappy. I like to stay aware of it because then I can choose my desires very carefully. I try not to have more than one big desire in my life at any given time. And I also recognize it as the excess of my suffering. I realize the area where I've chosen to be unhappy. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. One thing I've learned recently: it's way more important to perfect your desires than to try to do something you don't 100% desire. When you are young and healthy, you can do more. By doing more, you can actually take on more and more desires. You don't realize this is slowly destroying your happiness. I find younger people are less happy but more healthy. Older people are more happy but less healthy. When you are young, you have time, you have health, but you have no money. When you are middle aged, you have money and you have health, but you have no time. When you are old, you have money and you have time, but you have no health. So the tri the trifecta is trying to get all three at once. But the time people realize they have enough money, they've lost in their time and their health. Success does not earn happiness. Happiness is being satisfied with what you have. Success comes from dissatisfaction. Choose. Confucius says you have two lives, and the second one begins when you realize you only have one. When and how did your second life begin? That's a very deep question. Most people who are past a certain age have had this feeling or phenomenon. They've gone through life a certain way and then gotten to a certain stage and had to make some pretty big changes. I'm definitely also in that boat. I struggled for a lot of my life to have certain material and social success. When I achieved those material and social success, or at least was beyond the point where they didn't matter as much, I realized the people around me who had achieved similar successes and were on their way to achieving more didn't seem all that happy. In my case, there were definitely hedonic adaptation. I'd very quickly get used to anything. This led me to the conclusion, which seems trite, that happiness is internal. That conclusion set me on a path of working more on my internal self and realizing all real success is internal and has very little to do with external circumstance. One can to do the external things one anyway. We are biologically hardwired. It's glib to see you can just turn it off. Your own life experience will bring you back to the internal path. The problem with getting good at a game, especially one with big rewards, is your continue playing it long after you should have outgrown it. Survival and replication drive put us drive survival and the replication drive put us on the work treadmill. Hedonic adaptation keeps us there. The trick is knowing when to jump off and play instead. What do you think as successful? Most people think of someone as successful when they win a game, whatever a game they play themselves. If you are an athlete, you are going to think of a top athlete. If you are in business, you might think Elon Musk. A few years ago, I would I would have I would have said Steve Jobs, but because he was part of the driving force creating something that changed lives for all of humanity, I think Mark Anderson is successful not because his recent incarnation incarnation as a venture capitalist, but because of the incredible work he did with Netscape. Satoshi Nakamoto is successful in that he created Bitcoin, which is this incredible technological creation that will have repercussion, repercussions, repercussions for decades to come. Repercussions for decades to come, of course, Elon Musk, because he changed everyone's viewpoint on what is possible with modern technology and entrepreneurship. I consider those creators and the commercializers successful. To me, the real winners are the ones who step out the game entirely, who don't even play the game, who rise above it. Those are the people who have such internal mental and self-control and self-awareness. They need nothing from anybody else. There are a couple of these characters I know in my life. Jay-Z, I would consider him successful because he doesn't need anything from anybody. He's at peace, he's healthy, and whatever he makes more money or less money compared to the next person has no effect on his mental state. Historically, I would say the legendary Buddha, or who whose stuff I like reading, they are successful in the sense that they step out the game entirely. Winning or losing doesn't matter to them. There's a line for Blaise Pascal I read basically. It says all of all of man's troubles arise because He cannot sit in a room quietly but by himself. If you could just sit for 30 minutes and be happy, you are successful. This is a very powerful place to be, but every few of us get there. I think happiness is an emergent property play of peace. If you are peaceful inside and out, that will eventually result in happiness. But peace is a very hard thing to combine. The irony, the irony is the way most of us try to find peace is through war. When you start a business, in a way, you are going to war. When you struggle with your roommates as to who should clean the dishes, you are going to war. You are struggling so you can have some sense of security and peace later. In reality, peace is not a guarantee. It's always flowing. It's always changing. You want to learn the core skill set of flowing with life and accepting it in most cases. You, you can get almost anything you want out of life, as long as it's one thing and you want it far more than anything else. In my own personal experience, the place I end up the most is wanting to be at peace. Peace is happiness at rest, and happiness is peace in motion. You can convert peace into happiness anytime you want, but peace is what you want most of the time. If you are a peaceful person, anything you do will be happy activity. Today, the way we think you get peace is by resolving all your external problems, but they are automated external problems. The only way to actually get peace on the inside is by giving up the idea of problems. Envy is the enemy of happiness. I don't think life is that hard. I think we make it hard. One of the things I'm trying to get rid of the word should. Whenever the word should creeps up in your mind, it's guilty or social programming. Doing something because you should basically means you don't actually want to do it. It's just making you miserable. So I'm trying to eliminate as many shoulds from my life as possible. The enemy of peace of mind is ex- expectations drilled into you by society and other people. The enemy of peace, the enemy of peace of mind is except expectation drilled into you by society and other people. Socially, we are told, go work out, go look good. This multiplayer competitive game, other people can see if I'm doing a good job or not. We are told, go make money, go buy a big house. Again, external multiplayer competitive game. Training yourself to be happy is completely internal. There is no external progress, no external validation. You are competing against yourself. It's a single player game. We are like bees or ants. We are such social creatures. We are externally programmed and driven. We don't know how to play and win those single player games anymore. We compete purely in multiplayer games. The reality in life is the reality is life is a single player game. You are born alone, you are going to die alone. All of your interpretations are unknown. All your memories are unknown. You are gone in 3 generations and nobody cares. Before you showed up, nobody cared. It's all single player. Perhaps one reason why yoga and the meditation are hard to sustain is they have low extrinsic value, purely single player games. Buffett as Buffett has a great example when he asked if you want to be the world's best lover and known as the worst or the world's worst lover and known as the best, in reference to an inner or external scorecard. Exactly right. All the real scorecards are internal. Jealousy was a very hard emotion for me to overcome. When I was young, I had a lot of jealousy. By and by, I learned to get rid of it. I still crops up every now and then. It's such a poisonous emotion because at the end of the day, you are no better with jealousy. You are unhappier, and the person you are jealous of it is still successful or good looking or whatever they are. One day,